Good morning, y'all. This is on the porch with Pawpaw, except Pawpaw ain't on the porch this morning. He's out in the shop getting it packed up, ready so we can move to Arkansas. And all this stuff is fixing to go into storage for a year, 18 months, something like that. But I thought I'd talk to y'all a little bit about stuff that's kind of important to me, and I think it might be important a little bit to y'all. What we're going to talk about a little bit today is hobbies, being creative, arts, whether it's performing arts or visual arts like painting or woodcraft or leathercraft or those sorts of things, and it's not just the arts. What I would tell you is when we all leave this world, we want to leave the world a little better place than it was when we got here. And one way of doing that is through being creative, doing something just for the sake of doing it, because it brings us pleasure. It might bring somebody else some pleasure. Somebody might enjoy it. And for me, my go-to on the being creative side is probably first and foremost building something. I like to build stuff. That's the reason I'm out in my shop right now. I've spent 50 years in the construction business, so obviously I like to build stuff. Um, Eric and Kathy, they like to garden. That's being creative. It's not a art, so to speak, but it's being creative, and it's producing something that makes the world a better place simply because it's there and nobody ever sees it but them. Um, Kendi's got her painting. That's huge. Preston likes music. He likes his stand up. Uh, Jake likes music. Um, Graham, Ethan, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where y'all's creative side might be. I know you got one. You may not know you got one, but you've got one, and it's in there. And it'd be worth, if you don't know what it is, it'd be worth trying a few things and seeing what shakes out, see what rings your bell. So this morning, I thought I'd just give y'all a little tour of my shop. It's a mess because I am getting it packed up. I've already started packing, and my goal today, if I don't finish packing the shop, is to get it really close where I can start moving some of this stuff out of here. So it looked like a bomb's dropped in here, but I'll show you a few things that I'm doing, and maybe y'all can give this some thought and think of your own things. And it doesn't just have to be one thing. Like I said, I like woodworking. I'm fixing to get off into doing some leather work. I used to do some leather work when I was in my early teens, and made some billfolds and some coin purses. And I don't remember now what all I did make, some leather coasters. And that was all back in the early 70s before we had the internet or YouTube or anything like that. The only place for us to buy stuff was in Abilene, which was 100 miles away. So I might could go over there about once a year and get mom and daddy to take me to the candy store and pick up a little something. But so I didn't stay with it. Um, I've got a specific thing in mind now. I want to start making some knife sheaths, and I'll show you kind of where that's coming from. Um, but then in addition to that, I like to play my music. I haven't been playing much the last few months. I don't know, stress level with all this looking at property and trying to move and all that. For whatever reason, I haven't been playing at night. When I get home from work, I've been tired and I sit down in front of the TV until it's time to go to bed. Um, no excuse, that's just the way it is. So anyway, let's take a look at the shop. Over here behind me, see if I can get over here where you can see this. There's my lathe, and I can turn vases, I can make pens, bowls. I've only made one bowl so far. They're a little bit intimidating, but that's something I want to work on. Um, Turn around this way, you're looking at the shop long ways. There's a shop bench, and if you'll notice, those are some knives I'm working on right now. decided I'd try making some knives, and that's where the leather working comes in. I want to make some form-fitting leather sheaths to put those knives in. Let's see, there's a miter saw. And back over here, we've got, that's a planer. You see a drill press back there in the corner. And there's a bandsaw right there. That's a shop bench. That's my sharpener for my lathe tools to keep them good and sharp because they work better if they are. There's table saw. Oh, that's my shop. It's small. It's only 12 by 24. Yeah, I wish it was 900 or 1,000 square feet, but it's not. It's only a couple hundred square feet. Oh, that's what it looks like. So, like I said, I would encourage y'all, if you don't have a good creative hobby of some sort, give it some thought. For those that are into hobbies these days, if it's something you're interested in, there is somebody on YouTube that'll tell you how to do it, usually step by step. And it may not seem like a big deal to y'all, but when I was in my early teens and I was dabbling with leather, it was strictly trial and error and what you might could read out of a book, and the books were hard to come by. Didn't have Amazon drop them off on the front porch for you the day after you order it. Y'all might give that some thought. Spend some time with your hobbies. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it ever leaves the room it was created in. It's beneficial to you. The world's a better place for it, even if the world never sees it. No telling what you might do that you might actually find that you've got a real passion for. And there are people that turn their hobbies into money makers, I guess. Some of them turn them into businesses. I personally am not a big fan of that. Back 30 or 40 years ago, Bubba and I used to fish a lot of bass tournaments because we really liked fishing. And the quickest way to ruin a hobby is get money involved. Now all of a sudden you're not doing it for the pleasure. You got that dollar in your mind and what it might produce. Better if you can just do it. And if you sell a piece here or there, great. I wouldn't do it with that in mind. And, Eric, if it's you and Kathy and y'all got a garden and you got stuff left over and you give it to the neighbors, wonderful. That's a beautiful thing. It means a lot to those that get it. It'll mean a lot to you that you were able to grow something and share it with somebody. Nathaniel, Nathaniel, you dabble with music a little bit. I'm not sure how much. I know gaming is a big thing with you and Ethan both. Those are creative hobbies, particularly if you start creating apps and that kind of thing. And I've got a friend that just recently has created some apps, and he has actually made a trip to Louisiana the other day to sell that app to a large business. And they've got a second follow-up trip in July to Hawaii where he's selling that app. So there's things going down the technology line that's creative. Maybe that's y'all's thing. If it is, great. It doesn't have to be wood, doesn't have to be leather, doesn't have to be paint, doesn't have to be music. But I would suggest that you find something that you enjoy doing just because you enjoy doing it. There's some benefit in that. It's a stress reliever, and it just makes the world a better place. Just because you did it, whether anybody ever sees it or hears it, the world's a better place for it even being out there in the universe. So, y'all, Pawpaw's got to get busy and start packing this shop. It's a mess. I'd rather sit here and talk to y'all all day than I had to do this. Dad would take a dose of castor oil even. But anyway, y'all have a good Easter weekend. y'all keep in mind what tomorrow is about. It's not about Easter eggs. Um, it ain't about some little bunny. Um, cute as those things are, it's not about a new Easter outfit. So y'all keep in mind what Easter is about tomorrow. East the tomorrow is what gives us hope. Um, Christmas wouldn't have meant anything had it not been for Easter. Easter is what gives Christmas its significance. So y'all tomorrow when Easter rolls around and you're having fun, and there's nothing wrong with hiding the eggs for the little kids and having the new Easter outfit. I would encourage you to try to go to church tomorrow. Hear somebody tell you what Easter's about, what the significance is. But at any rate, just keep it in mind. Even if you don't make a church, watch it on YouTube if you have to. But even if you don't do that, just keep in mind what the day is about, and just remember, Papa loves you. I think y'all the greatest thing in the world. Y'all have a good weekend, and I'm not sure when I'm going to do the next one of these because we're packing and moving. We've sold the house, so I'm just not sure. I ain't gonna promise there'll be one next week or the week after, but maybe there will be. Maybe we get moved into a spot for a while and I can make another one real quick. But anyway, y'all have a good weekend. Papa loves you. We see you.